Hola Madridistas, welcome to Club Football yet again after a short international break. As Real Madrid take on Real Sociedad at the Real Arena this weekend. Joining me today is Mo, as always. Before we get started, let's hear a word from our sponsors. Yes, that you heard that right, sponsors. So first up is Manscaped, the pioneers in male grooming. So if you want to avoid any hairdo disasters like what Vinny had on earlier in the season, you should probably head on over to manscaped.com to get yourself a trimmer or maybe something else, anything that a man might need. So head on over to manscaped.com and use code LBR20 for 20% off and free shipping. This episode was also brought to you by Fanatics, the official merch partner for La Liga and Real Madrid, of course. So if you're looking for some quality merchandise or some Real Madrid kits, kind of on the cheap, so head on over to Fanatics from the link below. It'll really help out the channel and keep us going. But yeah, Mo, let's get started. You actually look low-key sad. Is it because you haven't seen Farooq for some time?
Maybe.
Okay.
I mean, Farouk is a guy you always miss. But honestly, like I think I only had like 2 hours of sleep in the last 2 days. So yeah, that's why maybe I'm looking sad. I'm also sad about the fact that I didn't get to watch my Ram today. So
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Ah, man, but were you able to catch any of the international action?
No man, personally, like I said, I was like incredibly busy these past days. So I guess the fact that there was no international, that there was no club football, that there was a game that Real Madrid was involved in, is kind of a blessing in disguise for me because I've been busy, a little with some other stuff. So thankfully, there was no games during this time. But yeah, on the weekend, hopefully. Although I'm not sure because I think there's an event I'm supposed to attend. I don't know what time I'll be back, but
Oh wow.
hopefully I'll be back in time to watch Sociedad
Yeah,
play
man, like
against us.
we finally started like scoring or like I don't know. I don't know where we are in terms of our call to game time, but should be fun because it's at the Real Arena. We're gonna be facing off against a lot of familiar faces, who have haunted us in the past. Talking about Kubo and stuff. So yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely. I think La Real is a team that's like at an organizational level around Real Madrid and Sociedad have always been good to each other. So it's kind of a it's not an enemy team, it's a friendly team, but still it's a pretty good team that always gives us trouble, like you said. So it's going to be an exciting game.
Yeah, are they really friends with us because after we sold them Odriozola back?
And I don't know, like didn't he go for free or something?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, I think Sociedad and Real Madrid, like, they have a long history going back into the 80s and 70s and whatnot. So always been good to them. They've always been good to us. I mean, I wouldn't say they were good to us when they sold us ERMND for that huge sum of money and then it didn't work out. I mean, I was sad because I always liked ERMND when he was
Me
at
too.
Lareal. This is like one of the guys you wanted to see succeed at Real Madrid, but it didn't work out for some reason.
Yeah, I remember like we were also sad about Xabi Alonso leaving, and then we were excited at the same time. Excited, oh, we can actually groom this kid to be the next Xabi Alonso. Never happened.
Yeah, it never worked out that way, sadly.
Okay, but Real Sociedad this season, at least from the first four games, they only have one win. Who was that against?
I think it's against Espanyol.
Espanyol, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, a 1-0 win. I'm kind of surprised the fact that because they seem to have lost against Alaves and the likes of Rayo. So I mean, Rayo was like a favorite to go down at the beginning of the season, so it was kind of surprising to see Sociedad lose to them. But then I don't know. I kind of do understand it because I think they sold Lenormand and they also sold Mikel Merino, so they did lose like two key pieces of the team. But let's see. I mean, they seem to have strengthened towards the end of the transfer window, so we'll see how it goes.
Oh yeah. So are you familiar with the names that they brought in? Luka Sukic and Ori Oscarsson?
Now,
Yeah.
no, 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 no. I have absolutely no clue who those guys are. I only saw it on Reddit. So that like Real Sociedad saying these guys sound like a good time. I do think I've heard the name of Susic before, but I'm not like completely sure that I recognize.
Yeah, I just pulled up the highlights reel just before this preview. I don't know. He seems
Oh, so you
decent.
were full on scouting.
Yeah, I was just like, yeah, I was like you. I heard his name, but I've never actually seen him play before for some reason. So yeah, pulled it up. Looks like a decent addition. I don't know if he can actually replace Mikel Merino though. Yeah.
Yeah, it remains to be seen. I think Mikel Merino is an experienced player in La Liga. He had experience in the Premier League even like before he went to Arsenal. I think he used to play with Newcastle. So losing a guy like that is always going to hurt them. But then they have some brilliant guys. I mean, the best thing for them it was the fact that they didn't lose Zubimendi, yeah, because I think
Yeah.
Liverpool were very heavily linked with him, and the fact that he stayed is good for La Liga and is obviously good for Sociedad. So let's see what happens. Maybe Zubimendi comes around in the future, because we
Oh,
always keep
wow.
talking. Oh man, we don't have a guy who can get the ball out of the back. So who knows?
Mm. Yeah, that's a good shout. And I think one of the reasons why they have had a poor start of the season is because Oyarzabal is also injured, and the guy that they brought in, Ori Oscarson, like he's just coming off the bench. So it's Umar Sadiq leading the line for them right now. So maybe that's why the goals
Mhm.
have dried up a bit.
I mean, when Umar Sadiq went to Sociedad, me and Farouk had this conversation because we were pretty excited to see how he would do. He had a good time at Almeria, if I remember correctly, and then
Yep.
he went to Sociedad and he had that injury with the ACL and everything. That was kind of sad for him, and I think it kind of derailed his career. So let's see how it goes now that he's back. Hopefully, I mean, hopefully he doesn't score against Real Madrid, but after that he kicks on and he becomes the guy that Farouk always hoped for him to be.
Yeah. Yeah. And like, I guess the other elephant in the room with Real Sociedad is like Kubo, right? Have he when he actually like started playing for Real Sociedad, it was like just out of the box. He was like hitting a goal a game for the first 5 games or something, and then he cooled
Mhm.
off a bit. Are you still excited about his situation? Do you think he has a future at Real Madrid anytime soon?
I don't think he has a future at Real Madrid, but I do think this guy is going to go to the Premier League maybe in the future because he seems like a really talented guy. And when he first came to Real Madrid, I was kind of surprised the fact that they didn't give him a chance. If you remember, like him and Rodrigo came in at the same time, and Rodrigo's, although he played with Castilla some games, he everybody thought that this guy is going to be the one who's going to go to the first team. And Kubo, for some reason, was seemed to be limited to Castilla, but then he had a brilliant preseason, and then suddenly he was on, goes on he went out on loan to Mallorca. So for me, I've always been a fan of Kubo. I mean, I have to say that maybe there is some bias because he's also Asian and he's Japanese, and given the fact that we also have our allegiances to Asia, so it's always exciting to see an Asian player succeed in La Liga. And I was kind of enthused about how he would do, but then it didn't work out sadly at Real Madrid. He had to go out. He went to Sociedad, and now he seems to be thriving. Hopefully, maybe I do see him moving to the Premier League if it works out for him. I mean, it would definitely be good to see him succeed at the topmost level. But sadly for me, I don't really think that he's going to come back to Real Madrid because I mean now we have Arda Güler, we have Rodrigo, Mbappe, Vinicius. I don't think there is a position for him, and Brahim also seems to be doing pretty well. So it's tough for me to see him coming back.
Yeah, for me, I try to figure out why we let him go and then kept Brahim. Obviously, like they have very similar characteristics.
Yeah,
Although
stylistically.
yeah, but Kubo likes to hug the touchline a bit more. That's what I felt. In addition, I feel like he loses possession way too often and he doesn't track back as much as Brahim even. Is that like one of the reasons why we actually let him go, or do you think the coaches saw something else?
I mean, it's tough to say that that's the reason why they let him go, but I think it came down to the fact that I don't think there was a position for him in the team.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. And then, given the fact that he got us a lot of money, and now that I mean, I don't think he got us a lot of money. I think he went for 5 million or something. But then
I think it
the
was
potential
15.
for a
Yeah,
sell-on,
but anyways, it was a profit.
yeah, I think the sell-on, the potential for a sell-on, because I remember Real Madrid owned like 50% of his rights, and he has a buyout clause for like 60 million. So potentially he could get like 30 million or something.
Yeah.
So that is why I think Real Madrid let him go. And to be honest, I think there was no position for him in the squad because of the way our team was built. So it's kind of understandable. Sad for Kubo because I do think that when he came, he did want to succeed at Madrid, and he even said in interviews, yeah, because he wanted to enjoy Champions League nights at the Bernabeu, but sadly didn't happen.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, but that 30 million could come in handy. Like we could buy back our Solar sometime in the future.
I mean, Odriozola cost like more than that, so I
Yeah.
wouldn't know it would be enough. But
Oh boy. Yeah, but enough said about that, man. Enough said about Odriozola. So do you actually fancy their chances at the Real Arena?
so say that.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, definitely they're a difficult team, and we kind of have to see what the injury situation is like coming into the game and which players they actually have on the field. So, but you can never discount any team against Real Madrid. Even like the likes of, I mean, there is no team in La Liga where you can say, oh, this team is so bad, even they could get points against Real Madrid. I mean, towards the ball, like La Liga is incredibly competitive. So for me, yeah, I don't. While a name doesn't come to mind, every team really steps up the game when it comes against Real Madrid. If the team from the capital is the big bad guys for everyone in La Liga. So I think Sociedad definitely gonna step their game up. It doesn't matter that organizationally at a fan level we have good relations with them. On the pitch, everybody wants to fight it out. So I definitely think it's gonna be a tough game.
Yeah, yeah. I think the only other missing player that they have is might be Bryce Mendes because he hobbled off in the last game, but he might be back. He's just doubtful. But Baranexia is actually there to take up his position if needed. But yeah, man, I guess let's head into the ad break and then talk about Real Madrid. Sounds good to you?
Yeah, perfect.
Hola Madridistas, if you've ever wondered how you can help and support this channel and project of ours, I'm here to remind you we've partnered up with Manscaped, so you can go to their website, use our code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping worldwide. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Well, whether you're bald, you want to be bald, or you are in the process of balding because, this season is already helping with that, I have a new thing for you. It's called the Dome Shaver Pro. It is a trimmer that helps you, shave your head. It is ergonomic. It has blades that come together and apart at the angle that you want to shave. It is very easy to use. It is fully waterproof. You can use it in the shower, easy to clean. It has flex adjust technology, like I said, where blades come together at the part. It's very comfortable to shave your head. Dome Shaver Pro is also equipped with a high performance 9500 RPM motor, which means no matter how your battery life is over time, the motor will always be efficient and fully working. And speaking of battery life, it has an hour and a half in its life or battery, so it means that you can take it on a trip fully charged. It will still be charged when you get there. It also has a lock on the battery, so if you travel and you're scared that maybe the trimmer will turn on or something, it will lock it so that never happens. Plus it helps save battery life. You can also get the Dome Shaver aftershave lotion. It has aloe vera, colloidal oats and gotu cola. It helps calm and nourish the skin after shaving. Plus it has a fresh green and light woods scent that's subtle and refreshing. So yeah, use code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping. That's code LBR20 to get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Thank you for watching.
And we're back. We're back. Let's talk Real Madrid. And I want to touch upon the international break as well because there was a couple of talking points that I wanted to bring and then discuss with you, especially.
Okay, sure.
The first one was like the outcry over Vinicius's form for Brazil. It's like the Brazil team is in shambles, and Vini is the cause of that because apparently like he plays like a League Two player when he plays for Brazil. Do you actually know why that is? Is it because of the coach or the players? The players seem to be the same. It's Rodrigo partnering up with him.
I mean, if you look at the way the Brazil team is organized, it's not difficult to see why they are so bad. I was looking at their team and I was kind of like, I was surprised that these are the names that are starting from them. I mean, if I was a Premier League fan, I definitely understand why people seem to rate Lucas Paqueta and everybody so highly. And I don't get me wrong, I think they're pretty good players. Like Paqueta, I think is a pretty good player, but somehow it doesn't really seem to be working what Brazil should be working towards. For me, if you have a player like Vini on the team should be built to maximize that. And I don't think Brazil do that. For some reason, they seem to want to play in a different way than what maximizes the talents of the players that they have, especially Vinicius and Rodrigo and all of those guys. So if the coach isn't doing that, it's not going to work out. I mean, football isn't a game about getting the 11 best names and just putting them on the field, right? It's about getting the best, the best 11 who can work together. So for me, I don't think that that's working for Brazil. And it's not just something that I think about this international break. It was the same thing I thought when I watched them in the Copa. Whenever I've watched them in recent years, I kind of felt the same way about them. And then the only thing that irks me a little bit is like everybody seems to think, oh man, Neymar is going to come back and somehow Brazil is
Yeah.
going to improve. It's not going to happen because even with Neymar, Brazil haven't won anything. I mean, yeah, definitely you would give the fact that they won the Olympics maybe when they had Neymar and Gabriel Jesus and Gabigol. But then apart from that, they haven't really won anything. Even the one Copa that Brazil won during the time of Neymar was without him, and Coutinho was the main guy. So
And
for me,
plus, like they had a peak Casemiro in that team. They still couldn't plug up
yeah,
defensively.
yeah, definitely. I think Brazil need to rethink their strategy going forward, and they need to figure out how to position, players like Vinicius. Even Argentina, they used to struggle with Messi, but when Scaloni came, he kind of maximized. He figured out how to maximize Lionel Messi. So when he did that, Argentina started winning. So for me, whoever's going to be the next coach, if Dorival kind of sticks back, he has to figure out how to get the best out of Vinny. If you can't do that, I mean, I don't think you are suited to be a manager for Brazil.
Yeah, hard questions have to be asked. And on the positive side, at least Anthony is still not playing for Brazil. So
I remember there used to be arguments on the internet, like pre let's say the 2022 season, where everybody used to be like, "Oh man, we got Vinny when we should have gotten Anthony
yeah,
from Ajax." So I mean, that definitely was an argument made by not even opponent fans; it was made by Real Madrid fans. So Vinny has come a long way.
a long way indeed. Anthony has come a long way too, although it's in the other direction.
I mean, Anthony went to United, so that's the graveyard.
Yep. All right. The other thing that was kind of controversial was like the injury situation for Real Madrid. It's like as soon as the international break started, like 3 players were suddenly injured and they're not available for the national team. I mean, Jude Bellingham, he was still working up to fitness. That is understandable. But do you find it strange that Eder Militao and Tchouaméni, they suddenly got injured?
No, I was actually, I kind of had an inkling that they were going to be back when our games started coming around. And from the news today, it seems like all four of them, like I think Bellingham, Chouameni, Folomindi, and Adam Militao are all back in training. So it's kind of not a surprise. Well, yeah, there was a stressful time where we were thinking that, it was going to be Vallejo and Rudiger starting at the back of the line.
Yeah, not to
Although I have
mention
to say,
Ceballos is still injured, right? So we don't know what midfield would have had.
yeah, I think that's definitely a good shot. But I think we had Modric, Guler, and this other guy for Valverde. Those are the
Yeah.
three people who were still fit. So I mean, it would have maybe not the best, but I still see. But having Vallejo and Rudiger, I mean, Rudiger is pretty brilliant and he can defend on it by himself. But there was talks about Carvajal, and I don't think Vallejo is gonna play.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't seem to trust him at all. For me, it is kind of sad to see how steep his fall has been because 10 years ago, Vallejo was like kind of rated as like one of the most promising center backs coming out in Spain, and he was the captain of Zaragoza, and he was captaining the lower division teams for Spain. So to see him go from there, and then he had a brilliant season at Frankfurt, and now where he is, it's like it's kind of sad, but then that's what injuries can do to you. So yeah, for me, but coming back to the point, I think going with Rudiger and I mean probably Carvajal, not Vallejo, as the center backs would have not been optimal.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you go against a team like Sociedad. So, but then last season Girona, we went with Carvajal and Tchouaméni and still managed to come out of it. So you can never downplay this Real Madrid team.
Yeah, I wasn't too worried about Mendy because I felt like Fran Garcia was kind of in an uptick of form. He didn't look that shaky defensively, but it's still too early to say. But yeah, glad that Mendy is back as well. With Vallejo, man, like I felt like he was always like the Sergio Ramos replacement because like one of the best things about him was his ball distribution when he was playing at Frankfurt. Everyone was raving about it. He was like, finally we have a Sergio Ramos replacement and whatnot. But
It didn't work out, definitely not.
Yeah.
Yeah, he I'm kind of sad. The only thing he's replacing is Ramos in injury department, but I'm pretty sad. Like even when he went to Granada, he didn't get a lot of game time. Like I think last season, I think he was at Granada, so
Yeah.
it's kind of sad to see.
The other interesting thing was like Cristiano Ronaldo's channel blowing up over the international break. There were a few nice interviews. Did you actually subscribe to him on YouTube yet, or no?
Do I get some brownie points if I say yes, or do I
Yeah.
get mobbed if I say no?
You might get mobbed. I don't know if you get brownie points though.
Yeah, I'll keep my subscription private in that case.
All right. Yeah, I think.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I did see some of the quotes that he made because they were definitely publicized, and the latest one seems to be about United. Yeah,
Yeah.
where he said that United, when he said something about Ten Hag, and Ten Hag today responded back. So that was kind of interesting. But then apart from that, he's been like pretty complimentary from Madrid, which I must say is like not surprising because Real Madrid seem to be the only team that have given him his flowers, where the others have some like he seemed to have like burned bridges at other clubs at Juventus, at Manchester United. Whereas Real Madrid, he has great relations and with the fans, with the club, with everything. And so it's kind of nice to see him say nice things about us, especially after what happened when he went to Juventus.
Yep. I still am surprised that he doesn't have a lot of friends over at Man United still.
I mean, he definitely does. I think likes of Gary Neville and all those guys, and I think even with Casemiro being there currently, he probably has a good friend in United. But then uh, I think recently these guys have been sidelined because we saw with Rio and his always at the wheel thing and whatnot. And then I think with Ten Hag coming in, definitely he and the new ownership and everything, the way everything is going out of United, I think he doesn't really have that many friends. But let's see what happens because Ten Hag might get sacked maybe in a couple of months.
Really?
But then,
After all these
I
years, do you
mean,
think now's the time?
I think so. I mean, they definitely bought in Ruud van Nistelrooy, right? They bought him for a reason. He's been a manager for him to go and be an assistant manager somewhere. It's like it doesn't really like smell nice. So there is definitely something fishy going on. But I mean, let's see what happens. We don't really want to speculate. Maybe, but I wouldn't be surprised if Van Nistelrooy becomes a manager at United, like before the end of the season. But having said that, I don't think Van Nistelrooy and Ronaldo used to have the best of relationships when they were together at United. So
Yeah,
that's there as well.
that's true. All right, man. I guess you want to head into the lineups now for Real Madrid?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so I guess we'll start off from the back line. Everyone's fit, man, bag. You expect all of them to start?
I don't know. I don't expect Bellingham to start, but while we get in lineups, something interesting happened over the weekend. I don't know if you've heard about it, but Lunin seems to have
Yeah,
agreed
4
to a
years.
renewal. I think, yeah, that was kind of interesting for me because I fully expected him to leave at the end of the upcoming season. But the fact that he's renewed is kind of surprising to me. I don't know what you think about it. Why do you think he renewed now?
I think maybe he didn't find the offer that he was looking for from any top club. I mean, who were really like hiring a goalkeeper this summer?
I think from the big rumors, it was Chelsea who he was linked with, who kind of like, I think he kind of expected to go there, but then that move didn't work out. So I kind of feel like when that didn't work out, and you look at the landscape in Europe, there isn't a place where a goalkeeper like him could be going and getting the big money and getting to play at the highest level in the Champions League. And so I think for me, when I look at it from that perspective, I kind of find like I understand why he renewed to stay on Real Madrid, but after everything that happened, especially last season, and I think I want to say that he wasn't disappointed with it, but then when Courtois started the Champions League final, although I do agree, like for me personally, I said at that time, I would have started Courtois. So when Courtois started, he kind of felt disappointed. So I understand him wanting to look for a move away. Didn't happen. Potentially renewing. Hopefully, the guy keeps on delivering, keeps on performing at Real Madrid, and maybe I hope he does get some chances this season. Because last season he did well, so I hope he does get some chance at least. Maybe cup run, and I hope Ancelotti doesn't drop him if he reaches the final or something like that. So yeah, and with the number of games in the Champions League, I hope he does get some games. But yeah, for tomorrow, I fully expect Courtois, Carvajal, Militao, Rudiger, and Flamendi.
Absolutely. And like, why do you think it was exactly 4 years? That seems like a long time, especially since you have to consider that Courtois doesn't look like he's going away anytime soon. Do you think he just got convinced that Courtois is like getting up in the years? I might get a chance in 2 years.
It's tough for me to say because it's kind of in a weird spot. You don't want to be renewing when you're and like reaching almost 30, and you you don't want your contract to be expiring then, because it seems to be a little bit difficult for players to get a big contract by then. Maybe he got a good fees. He didn't want to commit for a long time. Maybe they reached an agreement by which he could potentially leave in the future, get sold on for a fee or something like that. But yeah, I mean, I definitely don't have a point to say that maybe this is the reason why he renewed only for 4 years. But it's definitely an interesting question.
Yeah, could be personal as well. Like, we don't know. He just
Yeah.
maybe likes Madrid. Yeah,
I know his father was pretty angry when he wasn't getting all the game time and everything. So
yeah.
I don't know how he convinced his father to let him stay on Madrid.
Nah, man. Like with the baby and stuff, I'm pretty sure they'll occupy all his mind. His father's just in the periphery somewhere. But yeah. So yeah, I guess let's move on to the midfield. Bellingham, you don't think he's gonna start?
I think they're probably going to hold him back because the season's long.
Mhm.
And so with Chouameni back, if Chouameni is ready, I think Chouameni is definitely starting. Fede Valverde is probably starting. And it's probably could be Modric or Arda Güler. I think one of those two guys.
Articular, like you think we're just gonna see him like right now, even if everyone's available?
If Bellingham is starting, then obviously no. But then if Bellingham is not available, I think. See, the thing is, like I've always said that when he started that game that he did, I kind of felt like Ancelotti asked him to play a little bit too forward. Against, I think for Turkey, from the highlights that he saw, he seemed to be playing a little bit deeper, and he was controlling the game from what I have read. I haven't watched the game, so I could be wrong. So if that's the case, and you play him a little bit deeper, I think he can do the job that Real Madrid need him to do. So in that case, I definitely think Arda Güler can. I think Arda Güler should start. Modric, I don't know. Like he didn't really have the best of games, the one that he played. So maybe you go with Modric and see how he does against La Real. But then there's always those memories of last season where Arda Güler scored at La Real. So
Yeah.
definitely a good chance to give him another start.
Yeah, it is kind of strange, man, that Ancelotti doesn't even consider. I mean, he has said that okay, Arda might be an option in the like back midfield three because he has tried that out in training. But he says that would be wasting his gifts because Arda has a nice shot on him, right? And then if you take him too much away from goal, then it's to the detriment of the team.
I mean, we have too many people who can have a nice shot at goal right now. So I don't know. It's already the front three and plus Arda Güler. So I think sometimes it gets overkill, and when the ball is not coming out of the back, you certainly need somebody to drag it out.
That's true. Yeah, hopefully Ancelotti, tries that out some point in the season. But yeah, let's see if it's tomorrow or on the weekend. I guess that brings us to the front line. Then obviously it's going to be the front three. Do you see any of them getting a rest?
No, not right now. I know Ancelotti has said that when they have the South American guys coming back, he's going to try and see if he can, ease them in. But I think right now at this moment, especially given the fact that we have 4 points behind Barcelona, I don't really see that happening at the start of the season. Maybe after the next international break, there could be some rotations. But right now, I'm fully expecting it's going to be all three of them.
Right. That is kind of concerning, man. Like, do you still feel like Vinny has still not shaken off, the tiredness from the last season? Do you think he's fit and ready to actually go for the remainder of the season without a break?
I mean, I just want to know that he's motivated enough because I kind of felt like he when he's in the zone, you kind of see it with his play. Yeah, he's pretty direct. He's very decisive and everything. Well, in the past few games that he's played, we haven't seen that. So I'm hoping that it will improve because on form, I think definitely Vinny is like probably close to the best player in the world. I still think he should win the Ballon d'Or for last season. So we need that Vinny back, and when Vinny gets going, I think it will be a sight to see.
Yeah, absolutely. What else? I guess that's it. We have our lineups. Do you see any surprise inclusions from maybe Castillo or anything, or anyone coming off the bench for this game?
I wouldn't be surprised if Brahim starts. Maybe if he comes in for Rodri or somebody, but then yeah, apart from that, I don't really expect too many surprises. The only surprise would be if Militao isn't fit enough.
Right.
In that case, probably going to be Carvajal playing center back and Lucas Vazquez playing right back.
Wait, do you actually think Mendy can actually start at center back and then Fran Garcia can be played too?
No. The reason being is because I don't think Mendy is good in the air. He has terrible positioning when it comes to defending as a center back. All the balls seem to go above his head. So, Yeah, it's
And
not
those
that
are
he's short. It's just
tactical,
that
man. He's just leaving it so that he doesn't concede a corner.
yeah, leaving it for the other team to score. So
Yeah, I see your point.
no, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't see. I'm the only time I can see Fulham Mendy playing at center back is when he's playing in a back three. But if not that, I don't see it happening.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, I mean, let's head into predictions then. The hardest part of the preview.
I think we're gonna win, maybe 2-1.
2-1. Oh wow, like you were more confident than the game that we had at Betis. Like, do you think like we're on the right track? Do you think we figure out something at Betis? Are we gonna take that to this game?
I definitely think we were much better in the game against Betis, but the thing is, like, that game came and suddenly we went to the international break. So I don't know if they're gonna take some more time to figure out how to get back into rhythm and everything. And there's an international break thing. We always have this disease where we drop points after the international break.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's always a worry. The FIFA virus, they call it.
The FIFA virus and it's away. I don't know. Is it an early kickoff? That would complete the trifecta.
No, I think it's
prime time
late.
kickoff.
Yeah, prime time game.
All right, sounds good. For me, I still think we're not going to concede, man. I feel like we're going to hold the fort down, even though we might have some absences. So a 1-0 victory again for me. Mbappe scoring the winning goal. The second half.
Kylian.
It's time. It's time. Like, he didn't actually play for France, right, in the international break.
I have no idea.
Or he actually came off the bench in the last game. So yeah. Do you think him not scoring regularly, like, is it just him not getting enough opportunities, or his like finishing is like wildly off?
I think some of it has to be nerves. Some of it, like, I saw him miscontrol something that was kind of like, I didn't expect Mbappe to do that, so that was kind of a bit worrying. But then I don't think we created that many clear-cut chances, that many great chances. Although there were some that I do think he could have done better at. So, but I'm not too worried. I think he's gonna come good eventually. He's Kylian Mbappe for a reason. So, I definitely think that he's gonna be good for Madrid.
Yeah, absolutely. Fingers crossed he's gonna score the winner as well. But yeah, let's see.
Yeah, for a 1-0 win.
1-0 win. We will be there. All right. I guess we can wind up the episode then slowly. So yeah, guys, all of you guys, I guess Sunil was in the comments. Let's actually read a couple of us. So he says, Ole is at the wheel. He will never be beat. Steve invented the dance steps to it. Huh. And then he says the Lunin renewal is actually for the better after sales money now. And so he says even if he stays, there's no way he's getting any kind of minutes.
I mean, it kind of understandable from a Real Madrid point of view, but you don't really understand it that way from a Lunin point of view, because he was about to run down his contract. His agent is Jorge Mendes. I mean, why would he renew if he didn't want to stay? So
Yeah.
there might have been some assurances about like some game time for him to have signed that renewal.
Yeah, we have a lot of games going on. Do you think early on in the Champions League we might see a bit of him, or are we going to stick to Courtois?
I think I could see it maybe in the game 7 or 8, or whatever, when we are reasonably short of our qualification. That's when I think we could see Lunin play. Maybe, but it's Ancelotti. You never know what he does.
It's Ancelotti, but again, like at least in the
like
start of the
Farouk would say,
like
if Ancelotti in a way reminds me of Farouk. Farouk says, if he dies, he dies. So Ancelotti is also like that. If he dies, he dies.
He dies. All right. Yeah, folks. Thanks for keeping us company, and all of you all over at the audio platforms, Spotify, Apple Music, and whatnot. Try to leave a comment. Try to leave a review. It'll certainly help out the channel. And if you're actually free during the times that we do the post matches or the previews, actually hop on and then interact with us. Keep us motivated. And last but not the least, if you can actually check out Manscaped or Fanatics if you're looking to buy something or a Real Madrid jersey, one of those gray ones. Zidane was actually reviewing it. I saw it on the Real Madrid YouTube channel. He apparently liked the shirt. Do you actually like that shirt that much? Not a huge fan.
I think it's pretty good, but when I showed it to my mother, she said it's not going to look good on you. So I was blocked from buying.
The one person who says you'll be handsome in anything, if she says you're not going to look good in it, yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty ugly, so I'm used to it.
Well, come on, man. Like, I know you're fishing for compliments, but I'm not gonna give it to you. Yeah, let's end this episode here. Yeah. Stay tuned for the post-match, folks, and we're not gonna have the fan cams this time because it's an away game. But yeah, from next week, gonna have it back up. So yeah, until next time, folks. Hala Madrid.
Hala Madrid.